where darkness lingers a little longer, and the forgotten is never truly gone. If you're drawn to haunted whispers, unsolved disappearances, and true American horror, you're in the right place. Before we begin tonight's tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and press the bell icon so you never miss what crawls out after midnight. Now, turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and don't look behind you. There's a little town in central Texas, population maybe 400, where folks still wave at strangers, and the diner still serves pecan pie like Grandma used to make. It's the kind of place where everybody knows everybody, and secrets don't last long. Except one secret did. Everyone knows about that house, just off County Road 33, past the rusted windmill and the dried-up creek, a two-story colonial with peeling white paint, busted windows, and a porch that groans when the wind blows. No one talks about it openly, but everyone knows. You don't go near the McCallister house after dark. Back in the late 60s, the McCallisters were the pride and quiet suspicion of Braxton County. David McCallister had struck it rich in the Permian Basin oil fields, and instead of moving to Dallas or Houston like most oil men, he brought the fortune back to the quiet Texas countryside and built a massive two-story colonial house that sat like a crown jewel on the edge of town. Locals gawked at the sheer size of it. White clapboard siding, a wraparound porch with wrought iron railings, and thick stone chimneys that puffed smoke like an old-time locomotive. It was elegant and imposing, the kind of house you'd see in a Southern Gothic novel. But it wasn't just the wealth that had people whispering. It was Miriam McCallister, David's wife. Miriam was soft-spoken, devoutly religious, or so it seemed, always dressed in long black skirts, always at church on Sundays, always alone, never smiled, never gossiped. The preacher's wife once swore she saw Miriam burying something behind the house after midnight, moving. Then one night in October of 1969, everything changed. It started with the wind. People said the wind picked up around 10 p.m. A dry, howling gust that felt like it came from underground. It rattled windows, tore shingles off barns, and stirred up dust so thick you couldn't see the stars. Just as suddenly as it came, the entire town went dark. Street lamps, porch lights, even car engines. Everything died at once, then silence. When the lights flickered back an hour later, the McCallister house stood still, dark and wrong. A neighbor, old Henry Cobb, was the first to notice something was off. He rode his truck down to check on the McCallisters, found the front door wide open, no footprints in the dust, no tire marks, no sound. Inside, the house was frozen in time. A pot of coffee still steamed on the stove. Plates were set for breakfast, grits, bacon, eggs half-eaten. A cigarette burned out in the ashtray by David's chair. Miriam's shawl was draped neatly over the banister, but there was no one there. Not David, not Miriam, not even the dog, an old bloodhound named Rufus that never left Miriam's side. Sheriff Givens showed up within the hour. Big man, straight shooter, served the town for 30 years and didn't believe in superstition. He searched the house top to bottom, every door unlocked, every window intact. No signs of struggle, no blood, no signs of forced entry. Just an uneasy stillness that pressed against your skin the moment you crossed the threshold. The attic was empty, the basement too. Closets were full of clothes. Miriam's Bible sat open on the nightstand, marked at the Book of Revelation. There was only one strange detail. In the upstairs guest room, the wallpaper was peeled back in long strips, like it had been clawed away. Underneath, scratched into the wood paneling in a child's handwriting, were the words, "It's not dead, it's just waiting." Sheriff Givens didn't know what to make of it.
No suspects, no witnesses,
no motive,
no bodies.
The official report said missing persons, presumed runaway, but nobody bought that. The house was left untouched, and the silence never left. By the early 2000s, the McCallister house had become a legend in Braxton County, a haunted spot, a rite of passage for daredevil teenagers and amateur ghost hunters who thought they could handle a little scare. Most didn't make it past the front gate. The rusted chain-link fence had been broken for years, slumped like it had given up fighting back. The grass was waist-high, thorn bushes twisted along the porch railings, and at night, the windows looked like eyes, dark, sunken, and watching. In the fall of 2002, 3 high school seniors decided to push the legend. Jackson, Tyler, and Alyssa, friends since middle school, small town bored, and looking to make their mark. They brought flashlights, a couple of six-packs, a handheld camcorder, and teenage bravado. They parked about 100 yards out and made their way through the overgrown path with a flashlight beam dancing ahead of them. The house loomed larger as they got closer, every step heavier than the last. They climbed the steps. The porch groaned under their weight like it was warning them. Jackson tried the front door. It opened. The air inside was wrong, thick and sour like old milk and something burnt. Dust motes floated in the flashlight beam. Cobwebs clung to the chandelier, and the hardwood floors creaked with every step. They set up camp in what used to be the living room, sat in a circle drinking warm beer, swapping stories, and daring each other to go upstairs. Tyler joked that the place needed a renovation show. Alyssa laughed nervously, said the house felt like it was breathing. They started hearing it around midnight. Footsteps, soft at first like someone pacing upstairs, then louder, heavier, measured. Jackson froze. "You guys hear that?" Tyler shushed everyone. The house fell quiet, dead silent like it was listening too. Then came the whispering, low, indistinct, like a woman speaking from inside the walls. Alyssa screamed when the old radio in the corner crackled to life. No electricity, no batteries, no explanation, just static, then a voice, faint but clear. "You shouldn't have come back." That's when Jackson looked toward the staircase and saw her. At the top of the stairs stood a woman in a long black dress. Her face was pale and blurred, like static on an old TV. Her eyes were deep voids, and her mouth hung open wide, screaming, but no sound came out. All three of them bolted, screamed all the way to the car, dropped everything, the beer, the camera, even Alyssa's purse, ran barefoot through the brush, cut up by thorns and branches, until they reached the gas station out on Highway 12. The clerk said they were pale as ghosts, covered in dirt, trembling, wild-eyed. Sheriff Givens, older now, retired, but still respected, heard about it and went out there the next morning. The house was silent as usual. No sign of the kids' stuff. No signs of a break-in. But on the fireplace mantel, there was something new. Something that hadn't been there before. A dusty photo in a cracked silver frame. It showed three teenagers standing on the front porch: Jackson, Tyler, and Alyssa. Only they weren't smiling. Their faces were expressionless. Their eyes were hollowed out, black pits. And Jackson? He had no shadow behind him. The photo looked old, faded, like it had been taken years ago. The sheriff didn't take it with him, and no one ever stayed in that house again. As the years crept on, the McCallister house slipped deeper into the shadows of memory, but it never really left. It lingered like a bad dream you couldn't shake, always there, just beneath the surface. Some locals claimed to hear crying late at night when they passed the road nearby, a soft sobbing that rose from the fields and vanished as soon as you turned your head. Others swore they saw a flicker of light in the upstairs window, always the same one, far right corner, just beyond the old nursery. The house had no power, no wiring anymore. Hadn't in years. But the house didn't care about logic. In 2020, a popular YouTuber from Austin, goes by Ghost Chaser X, decided to film a solo overnight investigation. He was known for exploring supposedly haunted places and exposing them as hoaxes. "This one's probably just urban legend," he said in the video intro, grinning confidently. "Old Texas ghost story. Let's bust it." He arrived just before sunset, brought professional gear, EMF detectors, night vision cameras, spirit boxes, even rigged the front hallway with motion sensors. At first, everything was normal, dusty, quiet, just the usual decay. Then he went upstairs. The live stream caught it all, or at least most of it. The moment he stepped into the upstairs hallway, every piece of equipment he had went haywire. Static screamed through his mic. Lights blinked wildly, then complete silence. The kind that feels wrong, like the whole world had stopped breathing. He turned his camera toward the hallway mirror and froze. In the reflection, he was still holding the camera, but his reflection was different. It was smiling, wide and unnatural, while he stood stone-faced, breathing hard. Then, without warning, the stream cut to black. Team found him hours later, sitting cross-legged in the nursery, murmuring something over and over. "She's not trapped. We are." He never filmed again, never spoke another word. He's in a psychiatric facility outside Austin now, spends most of his time sketching the same image, the McCallister house with 3 chimneys, only the Real house has 2. A paranormal research group from Houston visited shortly after. They lasted less than 30 minutes. One member passed out cold in the kitchen, another reported a crushing sensation in their chest as they stepped onto the second floor. Their EMF equipment burned out on the spot. One of the photos taken by the third investigator showed something they all swore wasn't there. A woman in black standing behind them, her hand on the cameraman's shoulder. They never returned. To this day, no one lives within half a mile of the property. It's fenced off now, unofficially condemned. The county doesn't claim it. It's not on any tax rolls. Locals say it doesn't even show up right on Google Maps anymore. Always slightly blurred out, as if the place rejects being seen. Thanks for spending the silent hour with us. If the shadows whispered to you tonight, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, so you never miss the next chilling tale. Until then, stay curious, stay cautious, and remember, in the silent hour, the silence is never empty.